FC Cincinnati had risen to the top of Major League Soccer for the first time ever last week. Then Pat Noonan's club had to learn how to live at the top of the table. St. Louis City had other ideas on their minds, and so did their fans. After a dose of humility in the Gateway City, it's time for Portland at TQL Stadium and 3 more points. Cincinnati, here we go. Good evening and welcome to FC Cincinnati Weekly alongside Tom Gallardo. I'm your host, Marshall Kramsky. Tommy, welcome back to the show, man.
Happy to be here. Let's go. Another week.
Another week and hopefully a better week ahead.
Right.
Tommy, they're not the Arsenal Invincibles.
Nope.
FC Cincinnati's not going to go undefeated for the entire season, but losing 5-1 to an expansion team?
To a very good expansion team.
To an expansion team?
To an expansion team that has a good team. And what did Mama always tell us? Mama always told us there's going to be days like this when things don't go your way. And that's what happened Saturday night. Everything was off. There was a lengthy weather delay. It took us 2 hours and 10 minutes to get to the match. And many people then maybe wish they never got there because it got out of hand pretty quickly with an early goal for St. Louis City. But again, this is a team that already had 5 wins in St. Louis. Now, they had dropped 2 straight, and it's funny because coming in, St. Louis hadn't scored in 2+ games. FC Cincinnati hadn't conceded in 3.5 games. So, look, that was going to continue, right? No, early in the match, St. Louis got an opportunity. And, look, this team took advantage of every chance they had around the penalty area. By the time they had their 5 goals, Roman had a couple saves late. But by the time they had their 5 goals, they had 5 goals on 4 shots on target. The 5th was an own goal that hit the post. So that's how accurate St. Louis was on this day. And look, the individual performances for FC Cincinnati just weren't good enough. And when you put that together against a good team in an electric atmosphere, and I give credit to their fans for sticking around through that 2-hour delay. There was a tornado warning at some point in leading up to the match. We left the broadcast booth that had all the glass here. We decided that wasn't a good idea how to hit away down in the basement. But look, they had different guys involved in scoring the goals. And St. Louis was impressive, and FC Cincinnati just wasn't good enough.
After the game, Pat Noonan mentioned that it didn't feel like a 5-1 loss. I think that speaks to the accuracy you were talking about.
Yeah, and look, FC Cincinnati has really not been blown out much during the Pat Noonan era. I mean, there was one other game in which they gave up 5 goals and lost 5-0. That was the first game that Pat Noonan coached at Austin. Aside from that, there are 2 2-0 losses. So in 42 regular season games, Pat Noonan's teams with FC Cincinnati have only lost by more than a goal 4 times. That's pretty impressive.
That's really impressive.
When you think about it, especially considering some of the lumps that FC Cincinnati took over their years in the first couple of years in Major League Soccer. So, look, was it a bit of a shocking result? Absolutely. I think everybody thought this was going to be a really good game between 2 very good teams, and it's kind of disappointing that it wasn't.
And do you think the lineup had anything to play into that?
Look, I think FC Cincinnati still put a very good lineup out there. Obviously, they're missing someone like Luciano Acosta, who is so important in the midfield. You didn't have Brenner. He was unavailable. So, sure, you're missing 2 of your starters, but they put together a competitive lineup. Pimi Ordonez, who have been playing well with the FC Cincinnati 2 team, got out there and made a start. Sergio Santos, who ended up getting the 1 goal for FC Cincinnati, was in there, and you saw the own goal there. That's just insult to injury there for Roman Celentano. When nothing's going your way, that's how it ends. And then, Sergio pokes 1 in late, so he has a team-high 3 goals. Doesn't really matter on this night. Maybe it'll matter in the goal differential at the end of the year. But, it's just certainly a disappointing and frustrating night for the Orange and Blue.
Not much went right for FC Cincinnati against St. Louis City, and there was a lot of chippy play from both sides. Was that a result of the aggressive play, or did the game getting out of hand, did that lead the chippy play?
No, I think that's a result of what St. Louis is trying to do. Remember, their coach comes from New York Red Bulls. Remember what New York Red Bulls try to do. They try to get under your skin. There'll be some tough fouls. The top 2 teams in Major League Soccer in fouls committed, New York Red Bulls, St. Louis City. Cut from the same cloth. Bradley Carnell was at New York as an assistant. He was interim coach there for a little bit. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to press very high, and they're going to try to get under your skin, have you pick up yellow cards, have you pick up meaningless red cards maybe, and really put yourself in a bad situation. So, look, I think it may be a little bit chippy. Could this end up being a bit of a rivalry because, the proximity of the 2 cities? It could be, but St. Louis is in the west and Cincinnati in the east, so I don't know how often we'll play. But, certainly there was a lot of emotion.
Is it a concern at all that FC Cincinnati was switching to St. Louis's style rather than Cincinnati forcing St. Louis to play their style?
Well, it was difficult, right, with the way that St. Louis took the match over, and there really wasn't an opportunity for Cincinnati to take the game over. I mean, there's another, hard foul and a high shot to the face that's kind of how the night went. And look, Cincinnati still had opportunities to get on the board in the first half, and they, like Pat said after the game, the battle in the box was won by St. Louis, right? Mm-hmm. They were the better team. They made the most of their opportunities. Cincinnati didn't. If they get one back in the first half and maybe pull even, who knows what happens. But it wasn't meant to be. So loss number 1 on the season through 8 weeks. I think everybody can deal with that. And now you move forward. You come back at home where the team's been really good this year.
The beauty is you get to turn the page. It's
That's
on
right.
to Portland, and they come in, though, off a big win against Seattle. Take a look at our match preview brought to you by Tri-State GMC Buick. Tommy, Darian Asprilla for Portland have the goal candidate of the year right here.
Yeah.
The bicycle against Seattle. This is a dangerous Portland team, and that was impressive.
Yeah, it is. And look, Portland was a team that had really been struggling up to this point. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of people were favoring Seattle in the match, just like they were favoring Cincinnati in the match against St. Louis,
Sure.
who had lost 2 straight, and Cincinnati hadn't lost all year. I think Seattle was a heavy favorite in this match. And, goal of the year candidate, no question. But Portland comes in all of a sudden with confidence that they had not had all year. And Cincinnati has to be ready. This is not a side that they have seen very often. They played them once in that MLS back tournament in 2020 in the knockout stage. So it doesn't even count as a regular season match. So they've only met as regular season foes once. And, of course, we all remember that one, March 17th of 2019 at Nippert Stadium, the inaugural home match in Major League Soccer, and FC Cincinnati was able to get the victory that day.
How pivotal is it then to make sure that they don't fall into a 2-game skid?
Yeah, it's huge.
Coming in hot.
Well, it's huge. And look, Portland has confidence coming in, but Cincinnati's been so good at home. 4 home matches, 4 wins. It should be another electric atmosphere. So I think it's a great opportunity to get home, to feel good, and just be in those friendly confines of TQL Stadium.
And the look is going to be a little bit different. Right here. What do we got?
Look at that. Well, these are the One Planet jerseys. This is for Earth Day weekend. So every team in Major League Soccer is wearing a kit made of recycled materials. So this kit is all made of recycled materials. Pretty sharp, isn't it?
Pretty swaggy, too, I was going to say.
So half the teams will wear this one. There's a lighter one that Portland will wear.
Okay.
So if you're flipping around games, make sure you check the scorebug and see what's what. But, FC Cincinnati will be wearing this. So we got you the exclusive look at it.
That's very
here.
cool.
Yeah.
First scene here, and again, make sure
All made of
all
recycled
Major League
material.
Soccer teams are going to be wearing this.
Yes.
Made of recycled material. Really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks
Pleasure.
so much. Tomorrow, it's Portland at TQL Stadium. You can listen to Tommy and his partner, Kevin McCloskey, on the radio on ESPN 1530 doing the games or on iHeartRadio. And if you have the Apple Season Pass, you can choose to listen to Tommy and Kevin. So get into your settings and check that out. Coming up, we'll sit down with head coach Pat Noonan and see what his thoughts are on FC Cincinnati's fast start and the collapse last week in St. Louis. Stay with us.
I'm looking for someone who cares about my needs.
I'm looking for someone who will let me use their charger.
Connections, the dating app exclusively for singles who are in your area for 2 painful hours waiting for their connecting flight.
So, how's that charger working out for you?
Connections. Not necessary for those who live the non-stop life.
Oh, another connection.
When a drug you're testing might change the world, it doesn't feel like work. When the data might add up to a better life for millions of patients, there's real meaning in crunching the numbers. When a clinical trial signals a safe and effective medical option, you know your work matters. And when you want to work alongside some of the brightest minds in biotech, then MedPace is where you belong. If you want to make a difference tomorrow, join us today. Visit medpace.com/careers.
When you get proven quality at lower than low prices with Kroger brand products, it feels like you're winning. Find the proven quality you love at lower than low prices with Kroger brand products. Only at Kroger. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
We've always gone to Skyline. As soon as we get there, the girls run to make sure that we can get the counter. It's kind of neat for the kids to sit there and watch their food being made.
It's like right in front of you, showing kind of like how it's actually done. It's awesome because it's a skyline thing.
Very, very, very awesome.
Where else can you go and play and entertain yourself and eat, you know?
Nobody has a counter like Skyline. It's just the best.
Welcome back to FC Cincinnati Weekly. I'm your host, Marshall Kramsky. FCC had a big dose of reality dropped on them last week in St. Louis with a 5-1 drubbing at the hands of St. Louis City. Our Caleb Noe sat down with head coach Pat Noonan this week and got his thoughts on what's next for FCC.
Well, Coach, one thing your team has been excellent at this season is not conceding the first goal of a match. It wasn't the case this past Saturday, unfortunately, at St. Louis. When you give up a goal in the first 3 minutes of a match like that, how does that change the complexion of the rest of the 87 minutes?
Well, we put ourselves in a hole in that, first 5 minutes, in St. Louis, which is, as you can see, a difficult environment. And so the importance of starting the game off strong on the road was something we emphasized, but we weren't able to do that.
Certainly had some factors working against you from the very beginning, and specifically the absence of two of your key players, Luciano Acosta and Brenner. Specifically talking about Lucho, what is it about that guy? Like, we've all seen him sub in at times in the second half, and it seems like there's a jolt of energy among the whole team.
Right.
What is it about Lucho that makes him so difficult to be without?
I would say you could look at the Chicago clip of when he comes in the game and finds Sergio over the top as the perfect explanation of what makes him so special. Not many players can do that. And so when he's not on the field, we miss that creativity.
When you look at a result like that, you have to look at the fact that it's on the backdrop of what's been a highly successful season. Coming out of that, though, how much do you dwell on it versus that wasn't us that showed up that day, let's sweep that one out of the way and move on?
Yeah, you kind of have to have a feel for the moments of let's address this head on, or this is a one-off. Let's look past that. We addressed it. There was plenty of things in the game that could have prevented that. From our quality in the final third to being a little bit naive in some moments where we were taking aggressiveness into recklessness. And the idea is let's learn from it. Let's put St. Louis past us and now turn our focus to Portland.
Okay, speaking of Portland, you're looking at a side that 1 week ago said, hey, look at us with that performance this past week.
I think the result against Seattle, down a goal at home, pretty much sums up the belief that group has. And that could be a defining moment if you're looking at it through their lens. I'm looking forward to seeing how our group responds. I've said it quite often. They have a strong character, and they've responded from difficult moments and poor results and turned that into a positive showing the next go-around. So I expect the same against Portland.
All right, Coach, appreciate your time. Good luck against Portland.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Nick Hagglund is one of the fan favorites at FC Cincinnati games. He's a hometown boy. He's been with the team the longest amount of time. Maybe it's the hair. Let's take a look at our ProLink player profile.
Acosta with his right move, sends it across. Hagglund has it! The hometown hero finds the equalizer in the 83rd minute. Holy smoke!
Well, it had to be Hagglund for Cincinnati. The Cincinnati man rises up.
With his right foot. Comes across, there it is! It's time for a haircut! Nick Hagglund puts Cincinnati up 1-0.
It's Portland week in FC Cincinnati's world. After the break, we'll take a look back at FCC's first ever win in the MLS, which was against the Portland Timbers at Nippert Stadium.
The new 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X is equipped to conquer the great outdoors. Or the great indoors. Welcome to the peak of premium off-roading.
Or get 2.9% APR for 5 years and no monthly payments for 90 days on turbo high-output engine Sierra light-duty elevation crew cab models.
Frisch's has been making craveable American classics since 1947, like Frisch's Classic Big Boy and Super Big Boy burgers. Each one piled high with crispy lettuce, crunchy pickles, 2 fresh, never frozen, all-beef patties, topped with American cheese and our famous tartar sauce. Oh, the tartar sauce. It doesn't get much better than this, or does it? Try the Big Boy with fries and a drink, or make it a Super Big Boy with fries and a drink. Stop by or order online at Frisch's.com, DoorDash, or Uber Eats. Frisch's, everyone's favorite.
Stacy! I'm the sizzle in this promposal. Tonight, sparks are gonna fly.
Kyle?
And while Romeo over here is trying to look cool, things are about to heat up. Uh-oh.
Darn it, Kyle!
And if you don't have the right home insurance coverage, you can end up paying for this yourself.
Sorry, Mr. Sanchez.
So get Allstate. Be better protected from mayhem, like me. That's a hard note.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws? Because in real life, you don't get a second chance.
Hi, my name is Natalie Anderson, Senior Director of FC Cincinnati Community Relations and the FC Cincinnati Foundation. We partnered together today with the Cincinnati Zoo and Living Lands and Waters to help clean up our waterways here in Cincinnati.
My name's Mike Coyne-Logan, Education Facilitator, also just crew. We're a nonprofit river cleanup group that was founded over 25 years ago. The Ohio River, where over 3 million people get their daily drinking water, or the Mississippi, where over 20 million people get their daily drinking water. It's a home and habitat for a lot of different wildlife. So this all makes a difference. As you can see, if you start looking around, if that's the biggest thing, number one thing we find is single-use plastics.
Hey there, I'm Dave Janicki, Chief Operating Officer at the Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Garden. We're excited to be out here this year celebrating along with FCC the River Kit. This year's kit is designed to highlight the connections and the beauty of the Ohio River and its importance to all of us that live in this community.
Evan Laurel here with MLS Works Greener Gold Project, just out here cleaning up trash in the Ohio River, just trying to give back to the community because you guys give us so much each and every week. Go FCC.
Welcome back, everybody, to FC Cincinnati Weekly. I'm Caleb Noe. 3 players from FCC were selected to play for the U.S. men's national team in their game against Mexico Wednesday night. Goalkeeper Roman Celentano, defender Matt Miazga, and forward Brandon Vasquez. Glendale, Arizona was the place, and Brandon Vasquez got the start for the U.S. side. Look, they struggled in the first half and really throughout most of the game, but Brandon did make a pass to start this possession, which was the best opportunity for the U.S. in the first half. Jordan Morris with the touch just wide of the far post. Mexico would take the lead later on in the second half with this breakaway, a bad giveaway. It gave Mexico the opportunity, and they capitalized. It made it a 1-0 game at that time, and look, with the lack of chances for the U.S. up to this point, didn't look good. They would get an equalizer later on in the counterattack. Late stages of the game, Jordan Morris with just a brilliant pass across to Jesus Ferreira, and he didn't miss his chance. Matt Miazga did sub into the game. In fact, his pass started the possession that led to that U.S. goal. And at another point, very late in the game, final seconds, there was some enforcing that needed to be done. So who's going to step up and do it? That's our guy, Matt Miazga, as he always does. Roman Celentano did not get into the game Wednesday night, but certainly great to see some FC Cincinnati players representing their country on the international stage in what turned out to be a 1-1 draw between the U.S. and Mexico. Let's go back to Marshall now.
Thanks, Caleb. The Portland Timbers will make their first visit to TQL Stadium tomorrow, but it's not their first trip to the Queen City. FC Cincinnati's first win in the MLS was against Portland at home at the historic Nippert Stadium. Let's take a look back.
For those of you who play your first game in the stadium today, it's a very special day for our club. Okay? Let the fans enjoy this occasion. For us, I'll be brutally honest, and I speak from the heart, 3 points. It's a football match.
Talking about a stage, well, the audience is ready tonight, and they have been ready for this moment here inside Nippert Stadium, their first ever home match in Major League Soccer.
Hey, the energy, fantastic, but it doesn't influence how we go about doing our jobs. So absolute discipline right from the start. Okay, we ride the waves, the ups and the downs. We do not switch off for 1 second.
The match official signals ready for play. And today, folks, the Queen City has its king, and it's dressed in orange and blue. We are underway. Welcome to Cincinnati Major League Soccer. Tony sending it far post. Watson on the header, and there it is! The first goal at Nippert Stadium, courtesy of Kendall Waston, the captain.
Dangerous bounce off Hagland. Held into Ilova. Good save. Richie off a deflection. Carry the ensuing corner. Bobby Olive up for it. A spring. Another save by Richie Blanco. Swing and a miss. Deflected ball, Allen Cruz back heel. 2-0 Cincinnati.
Over to Lamar. Lamar with his left foot bouncing across the middle. Back heel. Allen Cruz gives the orange and blue a 2-0 advantage at home. Falls to Maddox. Maddox right-footed shot. Back post. Matthew DeBlanc. The Frenchman tallies his first. Queen City, it's 3-0 FC Cincinnati.
That was a big day for FC Cincinnati. New this year, MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. It's the only place to watch every FC Cincinnati regular season, playoff, and Leagues Cup match. To learn more about MLS Season Pass on Apple TV, visit fccincinnati.com/season pass. MLS Season Pass, your source to watch FC Cincinnati all season long. FC Cincinnati Weekly. We'll be right back.
When it hurts to move, what often hurts most is the fact that you can't. Because every rebound is calling your name, and every dance should be danced. It's in moments like these that we step in to help you step back off the sidelines. Because it takes two to tango in this life, and you are meant to be the one. Mercy Health, healthcare for the universe of you. Find an orthopedic doctor at mercy.com/ortho.
Being Friday, everyone's looking forward to the weekend. Skyline's a good way to kind of kick that off. It's the appropriate occasion for a Friday lunch.
People are like talking about it like all week. Are you going to Skyline on Friday? Yeah, I'll be there.
When we stand up, everyone knows, all right, it's Skyline time to go.
Yeah, exactly. You smell the chili, you hear the crowd, and they're having a good time.
It's a relaxed atmosphere. Everyone enjoys Skyline.
Skyline Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays definitely happen as well.
We love it every time we go.
Are you ready to help move medicine forward? CTI CRC, a local clinical research center, is looking for adults 18 and older to participate in a chemo-induced peripheral neuropathy study. If you've experienced neuropathy with breast, colorectal, or gynecological cancers, you may qualify for this study. All study-related care will be provided at no cost, and insurance is not necessary. Qualified participants may be compensated up to $3,175 for their time and trip. Call or visit ctifax.com to learn more.
That's our show for this week. Thanks for watching. Join us here every Friday at 7:30 for FC Cincinnati Weekly, the most comprehensive coverage of the orange and blue you will find anywhere. For Tom Gallarder and the rest of our FC Cincinnati Weekly crew, have a great evening and go FCC.
In the bad moments, stick together, huh? Stick together as a group, compact, and help each other.
I'm your overly competitive brother. Check. Psych. And I'm about to steal this game from you, just like I stole Kelly Carter in high school, huh?
You got no game. Dude, that's a foul!
And now you're ready to settle a score. Game over. If you don't have the right home insurance coverage, well, you can end up paying for all this yourself. So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
Thanks, bro.
Take a lap, rookie.
Real mature.
When you think banker, you think dress shoes. At First Financial, we think your shoes and walking a mile in them. It's how we put you first, understanding what your business needs to take the next step, or what you need to give your finances a solid footing. Because while banking can happen here, our relationships are made out here. A bank that makes you feel like number one. That's First.
First! The new 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X is equipped to conquer the great outdoors. Or the great indoors. Welcome to the peak of premium off-roading.
Or get 2.9% APR for 5 years and no monthly payments for 90 days on turbo high-output engine Sierra light-duty elevation crew cab models.
At Mercy Health, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. So these days, it's not just about how we care for you, it's where. Because whether at our place or yours, or wherever your day takes you, we'll be there with compassionate, personalized care. No matter how the world changes, your health will always be our top priority. Mercy Health, primary care for the universe of you. Visit mercy.com to find